Okay, good late evening on Friday. Interesting day for sure in the markets. So what we had in BITO or YBIT, right? The fund is YBIT and the underlying is BITO. So a couple of trades. Anytime you get to the end of the week, they're going to potentially add more if shares are bought or anything more positions, and they're always going to close out a weekly and roll that into a new weekly. So those things happened. Okay, but let's just talk about what the actual underlying and what YBIT did. So BITO declined 1.84%, right? It went from 28.22 to 27.70. And we actually went up in YBIT. Really about a penny. I remember it was 19.9167, so we're now 19.93. But nonetheless, we went up while BITO went down. So the main action there was the closing of the current contract. So I'll talk about synthetics in a minute. Let's start with a weekly. So we had written a 30, right? And we were never close to 30. So we collected all, really. I think they closed it for 1 cent. So we collected 44.5, call it 45 cents on 860 contracts. So that netted us, we had been paid 39,130. So we netted 38,270. It cost $860 to close it, right? On the share count, we also added another 25,000 shares. So that was like 11%. I'll look at my holdings tab. Yeah, 11.1, right, percent, 11.11%. So the other action was to add some with new shares coming in, hence new money into the fund. They had to go out. So whenever you close a weekly, you put another weekly on. So I'll talk about that, but let me go do the synthetic. Here's the other weekly. So let's jump over to the synthetic, which is a 29. So they added 190 new synthetic positions. And whenever you're underneath the strike price, right? So those of you that follow Coney and Misty with me on my other video, when Misty, it costs them money because they're ahead of their strike, and Coney's under, so Coney gets the cash flow, and so does BITO. So when they write this $29 synthetic out to May 17, it's only 190 contracts. It's not the big bulk, right? Because these other ones are still going. So they received 52,000 and they had to spend 11. So that's like a net 41,000, right? So that moved up our short or synthetic income. We collect that money when we do this transaction. This loss is real, but it's on the books. This doesn't happen until we close out these positions, and hopefully by May 17th they're in the positive. But our liability increased, right? If we had to close this right now, it would cost us 362. We've been paid 231. But on the books, it just shows the 231. All right, so let's go back and look at that other synthetic. So they wrote 1,050 new weekly calls, right? So we had the day before on 4/25 written at 49 cents, 720 contracts on 29. But because we've declined on the stock, they chose 28. And actually, they didn't update the price. But I can go out on my Thinkorswim and I can see the range. They were like 44 cents to 54 cents. So I just did a guesstimate. I'll get the right number here. It's not going to matter, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 difference. So I'm showing a $47,000 gain by using the 45 price. I don't particularly like that strike price, right? For with 1 week to go, they're at 27.70. So I'll show you what that looks like on my weeklies. But when they wrote it, it's only 1.08% out, right? But hey, we collected money. So we now have 120,000 in our favor. So when I show you the potential payout, but again, will likely only be paid in early June, right? Not a May payday. I mean, they could break that rule. I don't see it happening. Okay. So on the BITO, this is the underlying. This is what BITO is doing itself. And I do go look at the pro shares and see what their positions changed. But they never put the price of the changes, right? So all they really did was sell off 20 of these June futures contracts. So they went from 32.19 to 31.89, right? So they closed, is it 19? Oh, this must be, yeah, they only closed. I think that I got the right number. I thought it was only 20, but maybe it's 30. Based on this, it's 30, but I thought I counted 20. Not much change, so you really can't tell because you don't have the detailed pricing. So here is where I was talking about. So now we're rolling with 1,770 weekly calls, right? Both of these are 5.3s because on Thursday, 4/25, they added the 28.50. Right, and this one is 28. Although I wrote 29 over here, I'm not real sure why that is showing that way. It's possible this is a 28.50, but I'm pretty sure it was a 29. I'll fix that before the next video. I did update the cash. Okay, so we gained 584,000, and again they sold 50,000 more shares, right? Or was it 100? 25,000 more shares. They went from 225 to 250 after doing 100 the day before, but that's still 11% gain. But that's where most of that cash came from. So not a lot to learn from the cash position. Let's look at what our holdings look like. The only negative I would say, let me do the weekly, sorry. So the only negative I have here is these are real close. Look, we're 27.70. We went down some. We went up a penny and a half, 2 pennies here. Implied volatility was pretty much flat. I left the down arrow from yesterday, but when I looked it up, it's really flat. So I probably could just change this and leave it the same color and leave it sideways. Okay, so I'll figure out if it's really a 28.5 or a 28. I closed my holdings file, but I transferred all the information. So I'll fix that for you guys. So not much on the chart. I checked volume, right? So the volume didn't increase, no breakout or anything. And the 27.70, we had an up day slightly yesterday and then a down a little bit. So it's right in this same range. We're right in the middle of our resistance and our support. So sooner or later, this is going to break out. So I'm really surprised, though, they wrote a 28 strike. But again, they're doing pretty well in collecting money. So let's go take a look at holdings. So here's the 300 and something, 362,000 that they're in the hole on the synthetic. But again, it's book value, and they have till 5/17. This is all of our cash position, our treasuries, also First American Government Fund. It's like a fancy money market. These are all treasury yieldings, right? June 13th, 11.15, and this one goes out to 4/15/25. So we're actually trading at a 5-cent premium. When you do all of the assets, add them up, and divide by the new share count, right, which I told you went up by 11%. We went up 25,000 shares from 225 to 250,000. Okay, so they're saying it should be trading at 1988, and we have a premium to the NAV of 1993. So until this really breaks out on our chart, we're going to be range bound. But that doesn't mean we can't collect nice money. So let's look at our payment. This won't be a very long video. So look at our synthetic income is up now to 231. Our short call income is up to 120. So altogether we have 352. So we've got $1.41 we could distribute over the share count, right? And again, I don't see them making a payment in May 3rd as declaration. So this coming Friday, right? 6 days, well, it's late Friday night for me, but Saturday morning for some of you, or Saturday when you see this, just think of May 3rd, right? So that's when they declare before the market opens. I don't see any distribution, just like Misty, right? They waited for the following month, and they opened on the 21st, and I think this opened on the 23rd, right? Yeah, it's opened on the 23rd. So again, you're familiar, you're all caught up. This is positive though. If they can just continue these little gains, you know, we could get and have a $2 payout, right, with this kind of progress. So just wanted to keep you guys updated. I'm going to do my Coney and Misty in a few hours. So again, this is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Talk to your financial advisor before doing any investments. These can be risky endeavors, but they're an excellent source of income. Okay, that's all I got. See you guys. Bye.